All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday, February 3rd regular council meeting. This is a hybrid meeting, so we do have people online as well. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Start off with the land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that the township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen is located on the Treaty 20 Mississauga territory of the Mississauga and Chippewa nations, collectively known as the Williams Treaty First Nation, which includes Kurt Lake, Hiawatha, Alderville, Scugog Island, Rama, Posile, and Jordine Island First Nations. The Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen respectfully acknowledges that the Williams Treaty First Nations are the stewards and caretakers of the lands and waters in perpetuity, and that they continue to maintain this responsibility to ensure their health and integrity for generations to come. I'm going to move into a moment of silent reflection for council and staff to quietly reflect on our duty to the community that we represent. Okay, thank you. I'll ask everyone to make sure your cell phones are off and or placed on vibrate so it doesn't disturb the meeting. And I'll and declaration if you can or interest if it arises, declare it then. So we have some minutes here from special council meeting January 7th, January 8th for budget. Special council meeting January 12th for the closed session, and January 13th for the regular council meeting. So I'll look for a motion to receive those minutes if all is in order. Moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Clement. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, so we're going to move right into delegations. I'm just going to ask that we change the order here. Just Pat Patterson here is on the agenda here for third. We're just going to let him get up first so he can get his things out of the way. So
that's a special order.
There you go. Yeah, Pat, welcome, and go ahead.
Well, I just say thanks a million for allowing me. You'll have to kind of bear with me here. Sometimes with this oxygen on, I have a little bit of trouble, but over the last 6 or 7 months, I've been doing a little bit of a survey on all the accomplishments that the councils have done, mainly just in the last 2 or 3, and then some of the history going back, and just a few things is, who would ever have thought that we'd have a complex up on Smith Drive? And never in my lifetime did I ever think that we'd have a complex on Old Norwood Road Station Place. Second to none. Anybody that's been in there, it's just worthwhile to go in and they'll take a tour. I'm telling you, we're the luckiest people in the world. And just a few other things too that happens. We've got some great people here. It's young people with Josh, who took over a pretty heavy job, and some of his accomplishments. He's got the conference arena, he's got the town hall, he's got windows and whatnot with all his people down there in the stone hall. Now he's got Mortlock Construction looking after these complexes. And I snuck in the one time, Josh got me, and I had to leave, but then said I've been up there twice. And this last time I was in there, I took some pictures and talked to the guy that's working under Mortlock. And he said, you know, the worst part is we don't know just what we can do and what we can't do in here. And I said, well, how do you mean? Well, he said, we're moving the piano to take the structures down up above. And he said, the piano might go through the floor. I said, man, there's no way you could go through the floor there. I said, you pull that where the stairs goes up, there's a 4x hole in there. And I said, there's 10-inch hemlock, rough cut, 16-inch centers. That you could have a bulldozer sitting up on top there. So anyway, he gave me his phone number and he said, anytime we run into something, he said, we're gonna give you a call. Well, I got a call last week, but I was too sick to go, you know, but that's just part of it. Yeah. Anyway, Josh has been doing a heck of a job up there. Then we got Peter here, who right now is getting snowed under this year. And a lot of things have happened there too in the roads department. The third line, the sixth line, all been refaced. Old Norwood Road, a lot of paving going on up there. Around Lake Road, and even the county got started on 48 for the repairs. And this all comes through Peter's department. And there's a lot of people saying, oh, well, goddamn, look what they're doing up at Havelock. They're got all drain in here, and they're doing this and they're doing that. And I happened to be down talking to Peter one day, and we got them two-day radios, and the guy's phoning all the way from back on and the Sandy Lake Road. And I said to this guy, you know what he was doing back there? He's snow plowing with the wing. I said, we have 4 trucks. They're all plowing. And the business people want the streets clean. Who's going to do that? They're going to be certified by the government, not by council. Oh, well, we didn't know that. I said, well, I'm here to tell you that I was 8 years in the council. And I do know a little bit about it, maybe not enough. Anyway, today's kind of a this kind of pat on the back. Like, for me, I don't know whether I'm going to be around too much longer, but we're going to give her a good shot. Anyway, one thing about it, pages mixed up here, like my head, I guess. Years ago, just think about this. Okay, sit down and take 25 people that you think can make good counselors, maybe a brand new read. I read to 4 of my friends what I was going to bring to this council today, and I got more flack than you can believe. I said, what the hell are you trying to do? I said, well, it's what I've taken down and what I see. I get in my truck and I drive all around. Peter knows, Josh knows, they all see me going by. And I take a lot of notes. Well, I said, you take those 25 people and say to them, just like I'm going to say to you 4 guys, oh, you're going to run for council. No, the hell would you? I wouldn't be seen in there. I said, hey, here we go. So who have we got sitting here? People doing a damn good job to the best of their ability. And that's worth a lot. Anyway, so anyway, if we take a look here, we've got a couple of things that maybe we can do. We have our council meetings in the morning. In my time, it was always at 7 o'clock at night. And the reason that we tried it in Belmont-Methuen is that the business people and a lot of the people that are working, they can't get out. So I think we lost that ability to really know what do people really want. This is just something to think about. But I think we should go back. Basically, I know there's a few reasons why you went away from COVID was one of them and whatnot, but I think it'd be the best thing that you could do. That's just my opinion. That's that decision on your own. The other thing is the Rotary Park. And I came here, this has to go back probably 4 councils back. And I was asking for signs for the Rotary Park. And Dave Giroux was sitting, or Bill was sitting, and he made the motion, and I think Hart made a second tonight, as I recall, to give us signs. But we did get one sign put up over there. The rest of them, every time we have a fish derby, my daughter and I make the signs, put them up. I've been doing that now for the last, well, since we've had fish derby. And I would like council to really take a look at that. These need to be permanent signs. They need to be put one on each side of number 7 highway down at Mary Street, one down at the corner of Mary Street, as the other end up at the where number 30 highway is. As I talked to John Richard, I know he'd be glad to let you put a sign up right where that gas thing is there. The other one should be up by our sign coming into Havelock, and maybe another one down at the farmer's market. You know, that wouldn't cost too much money, and have a nice picture, maybe a picture of the Rotary Park, along with our own right here. I think that would be a good thing. The other thing, and I'm probably ahead of myself here, the Masons, they contacted me last night. They want to have another car show. Now, I'm ahead. I think the way it's supposed to be done is, there's a paper, I think, Jim. And then that goes to Josh, and then Josh brings it to council. Is that how that works?
For the,
For the
depends what
permission?
they want, if it's on township property, you take
Yeah.
through staff.
Yeah. Anyway, the only problem with that is there's an old car magazine, and you only have so long to get it in. And so I don't know whether you can give me permission to say, okay, we can go ahead, or whether we can't. That's pretty heavy. So
Yeah,
I just ask the council to make that decision, if you will. And as soon as you can, we probably have until next Tuesday. Is that pretty quick, eh? Yeah.
Nice try that.
Yeah, otherwise I probably won't get it in the old car magazine. But last time we had a great turnout. The other problem is over there, we have a little 12-foot gate. And boy, it's a tough one to get out. We have a dead tree sitting right there. And Peter did a good job. He came up and knocked the hump off. But what we really need there is when you come straight in, you've got the fence of the property there of the storage place and our washroom. We should actually have a 16-foot right there. I'd leave that gate over there for emergency or something. But the reason for that is I was in the Trailer Plus, and I boarded 3 trailers off him for Snowmobile Club. And we got talking about, he said, I'd like to find a place where I could put a whole bunch of trailers in there. And I said, what about a Rotary Park? Where's that? Nobody knows where the Rotary Park is. So I drew him a little sketch. Oh, heck, he said, that'd be good. But he couldn't get in there. So just something to think about, okay? Anyway, and another thing that came up at the old car show, this guy come up, and we have trouble down there with the geese. And he was telling me that, he said, go to Ducks Unlimited and talk to, and I haven't got sick, I didn't have, but he said there's a grass that you can grow. It'll be about 4 feet high. You probably know, but do you?
I did. I went to a thing at Round Lake.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, if you plant it, geese can't turn their heads.
Yeah, they can't see through. They think there might be a wolf or fox or something. Now he said, over at your park, he said, don't do it on that side. They'll go up on shore. So that might work. I don't know. But as soon as I can get going again, I'll try to. I'll I'll send some information to Bob. Okay.
yeah.
That kind of concludes what I guess I was going to say. Anyway, as a taxpayer in Havelock, 90 plus, I'm pretty happy with my crew. you guys.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Well,
Pat.
thanks, Pat, and it's, you've been working on a lot of things around the township and, been involved quite a bit with a lot of different groups. It's nice to hear some good stuff once in a while.
Well,
So, but thank you for,
it's been a lot of fun. If I was a lot younger, I'd be doing a few more things, but we're gonna see where this thing goes.
so,
I hope another battery don't blow up on me the next time.
so the signage in the, car show or something that, you know, like quite a ways away. I know you need it for the
And that was the only thing that I need.
timing.
It just to get that advertising in. And,
Yeah, and as long as the dates work out,
yeah, if it,
never said
you know,
no to anyone.
you guys got a lot in your mind. If it don't happen, it'll be another year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. I'll open up the council. Any questions or comments for Pat? All right, well, thank you very much, Pat. And
Welcome, guys.
yeah,
My pleasure.
and Lori, you're gonna come back up and meet you here, is she?
Yeah, I'm gonna give her a call and that's,
Okay,
we'll leave all you happy people to your good things.
sure. Yeah, you could probably wait here. So, do it. Let me just see if Lori's out there. And
She is, she's just over this way a bit, Jim. Shampoo.
I may have to turn my phone on, Jim.
yeah, you better give her a call. I don't see her there.
Yeah, she said she was doing a business call.
Yeah, she's
Maybe.
probably on a conference call.
Okay, well, we'll sort that out and we can move on. Yeah, like I don't know. Okay, well, we're gonna move to the next delegation, Pat, and
Go right ahead.
maybe we can.
Can see her there?
Oh,
I'll check out front. Maybe she's.
Oh, it's right there.
just to save. Okay. We'll move on anyways to the next, to the first scheduled delegation, which was Aqua. So, we can start that, Pat, while you're looking. Amber, Amy, and I don't know who else is gonna be speaking, welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having me over.
Try again.
Morning.
We have to turn one on. Nobody's on. Can we turn that one off? Yeah, there we go. Try again.
Morning.
Push a button. There.
Start again.
Good morning.
I think that's a little bit.
Sounds like it worked.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, so thank you for allowing Aqua to attend today's meeting, council meeting. I'm Amber Copeland, the Senior Operations Manager. Beside me is Emma Hennessy, who is our Business Development Manager. And behind me is my duty operators, Aaron Ball and Jordan Easton. We've come to council today to present the groundwater well siting study. This is in conjunction with Minerals Canada and Willow Stick. So on the virtual call, you'll see that we have Brad and Tristan online. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Excellent. I'll ask that you two please introduce yourselves to council.
Hello, my name is
Morning,
Brad.
thank you, Amber.
Go ahead,
Oh,
Tristan.
Go ahead, Brad.
No, my name is Brad O'Bonzo with Minerals Canada Exploration Inc. We provided all the field logistics and data acquisition on the project. Nice to meet you all.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tristan Johnston. I am the Chief Engineer and Operating Manager for Willow Stick Technologies, and we did all of the data processing and further technical review of the data on site, as well as choosing your target locations to drill. So, good morning, everybody.
Excellent. So just to summarize for council and public, we did some studies along the Havelock locations and Havelock Township properties, and did some site investigations on looking for potential new groundwater source that could ultimately be a full municipal viable source and replace well 3, I think, at the end of the day, which is something that I think the public and the township is looking forward to. I will pass this over to Tristan and Brad to do the presentation.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Amber. I will see if I can share my screen real quick. I'm working off one screen today, guys. I apologize. I'm at a conference. It's a disabled share. Somebody's gonna have to give me a permission. There we go. Oops. Is everybody able to see my screen? Or are we just looking at the video again?
Right now, Tristan, we're just looking at the council screen.
Gotcha. It's not popping up that I have full access on my computer with Zoom at the moment. Let's do this. Let's try this one. Did that work that time?
Yes.
All right, great. Well, good morning again, everybody. I know that we sent the kind of reduced version of the well siting report. I don't know how well versed everybody is. So I'll kind of try to take it, keep it consolidated, but this is the one thing I wanted to show you to start out. All of the basis for our technology, our microseismic resonance technology, the technology that we brought out to your guys' site there in Havelock, is based off a publication through Swisstock and Sharp, which is called fracture trace mapping. Sorry. So one of these geophysical methods it's been theorized and thought of for a long time, but it was fully published in 2015. As you can see in that kind of cartoon, or in that graph right there that you see, you have a kind of white area that's less fractured, and you have the brown area that's more a fractured zone. Generally, when you think of well drilling,
Tristan, would you mind just expanding that screen just to make it a little bit more bigger, please? It should be down on the right, top right there.
Oh, expand or zoom in. Yeah.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Apologize for that. So I'll start a little bit over. As you can see, the white areas are less fractured zones, and the brown areas are the obviously topsoil, but as well as a fractured zone. Like I said, this theory has been around for a long time. It was published in 2015. What we do with our technology is we take advantage of this geophysical method, or geophysical science that we look for, where we're targeting these fractured zones. So when you think about drilling, when you think about the nominal nature, is you're going out, you're drilling a hole, and you're looking for areas for obviously water to exist, or areas for water to flow, whether it's your aquifers, whether you look for artesian springs, geothermal springs, whatever that may be, of where the water is getting produced by the earth or by a nominal source, so an aquifer. In this case, what we definitely target is these vertical fracture zones. Obviously, there's no horizontal in this case. In this cartoon, it's a vertical completely. And if you look down in this graph, you can see the average rock types, average yields, and yields from fractures, so these fracture zones. When we hit these fractured zones, or what we like to call them porous zones, you can see the average yield from these fractures increase from these nominal yields from 1 to 20, 2 to 200 to 500, and so on as you go down. So massive, massive change on yields when we target these fracture zones. So I wanted to kind of give you that a perspective. That's what we target. Not everywhere we survey has massive fracture zones. I don't know if anybody had looked at Maddox report. Maddox had massive vertical fractures. Your guys' is more like quieter zones, but still very promising. So we'll go through, and obviously it's very regionalized. But I will switch to the other version of the report so we can kind of zoom through this a little bit better. Obviously, these are your guys' locations, 40 acres in total. To begin our survey, what we did is we took a radiometric gamma survey. So we have, along with the fracture trace mapping and the publication from Swiss Stock and Sharp, we have the radiometric gamma. What that does is it allows us to narrow down our survey locations for our MSR. For us, time is money. And I hate to say that because that's kind of in every business, but each measurement is 20 to 45 seconds. So in total, I don't know off the top of my head how many. We had a total of 28 MSR lines. I don't know the number off the top of my head of the amount of shots that we had. But basically it's 20 to 40 seconds for each one of these measurement points. So to drive down the cost, and for our survey in total, we don't need to take full grids to find the locations of the best water sources. We just need to take these linear lines. So using gamma scintillation, what we do is we walk these black lines as we go through, and it creates a gamma map or a heat map of sort. So think of farming when you go out and you're trying to make sure your farming fields are fully moisturized, fully irrigated. This is kind of the same theory or same idea with precipitation going through the subsurface. So wherever there is venting or where there is water that is transporting through the surface, we'll get these venting locations. And what are venting locations? Venting locations means where there is water present. Water is a gamma inhibitor. So gamma radiation, which the Earth produces naturally, cannot vent into the surface if there is water present. So everywhere you see a blue location is where gamma is inhibited. So where your red locations are is where gamma is freely flowing into the atmosphere or irradiating into our atmosphere. And then again, there's where the blue locations are where the highest potential of venting for water is. I'll stop right there. I know that's a lot of information to kind of start out. Is there any questions so far on that? And before I go into the actual subsurface data.
Questions?
Kristen, I just asked that you could zoom in again, please.
Gotcha.
Okay, no questions. Kristen?
That work?
Yeah, thank you.
Great. So after we do this first survey, like I said, we do our gamma scintillation survey first. Once we do that, we send it into our geophysicists. They take a good long look and they choose the best linear locations to basically walk a line and take measurements through these gamma anomalies. So in this case, for survey 1, which was 20 acres, we did, I believe, 13 microseismic resonance lines. And then for area B, which was survey 2, we did all the way through line 28. So that is 15 lines on survey 2. I'll get into this in a second. This area is a marshland, or what we would call a high precipitation zone, runoff zone. So I'll get into that in a second, but this is the gamma map. As you can see for survey 2, most of the 10 or 20 acres was highly gamma saturated. So there is very little water precipitation or water venting through the subsurface other than in this kind of wetland or marsh slough, and then maybe a few other areas as we go through that you can see that we took our microseismic lines across. Okay, so now explaining our microseismic resonance. Going back to Swistock and Sharp, where we're looking for vertical fracture networks. Think of back when you guys were in grade school or college, whatever physics class you took, and you had the toning forks, or when you dipped your finger in a wine glass and you rubbed your finger around the edge of that wine glass and you heard that resonant signal. Well, we are able to use the same principle in physics that uses resonating, or taking a resonant signal, and we're able to correlate that resonant signal to on a near 1-to-1 scale. I think it's 0.93 scale to porosity. So what we do is we have our device is able to sit up on the surface. We actively start the sequence of our measurements, which is actually we take a hammer and we begin our survey. And then what it does is it reads the subsurface. It listens to that subsurface, all the active movements of the earth, constantly breathing, contracting, the tidal forces, the tectonic forces, everything within the subsurface is resonating. So we're listening to the natural resonance of the subsurface. And what that gives you is our secondary heat maps. So the resonance intensity maps. So everywhere you see these dark from orange to dark purple areas, that's where we have a higher resonant zone or a resonating zone, which, like I said, we correlate that to a near 1-to-1 scale with porosity. Do we have a magnitude on that? No, I cannot give you a magnitude. But when we correlate, or when we look comparatively of all the data across your site, so we take every single shot into looking at our data, where we would want you to drill, or where we recommend for you to drill, are in these zones of higher resonance. So to put in perspective, kind of give you a little bit of a lay of the land, this is just our line 9 and line 10. So our targets A1 and A2 for that first 20 acres. When you look at the numbers at top, these are each measurement. So measurement 0, measurement 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. Those are spaced by 10 meters apart, give or take. Obviously, it's not actually line measured, but it's all GPS recorded, so you can go back and find the exact spots. Obviously, we actually staked those locations. I believe Brad staked them with a T-post and painted them orange for you as well. But so in this case, we have line 9, shot number 3, which is your target A1 for that first site. What I look for when I'm looking at this map is this is your upper aquifer zone. This is probably where most of your really old historical wells are drilled to, maybe the first 25 meters down to 50 meters. That's where your upper porosity is. That's where we can see a visual aquifer. Now, once you get below that, you can see all these white, more competent zones, more competent rock that's not very active, that's not moving. It may not have as much porosity or less tectonic pressure or hydraulic pressure through these areas until you get down to the 100 for A2, maybe 150 for meters for that A1. So when we go back to Swistock and Sharp, we're trying to look for these vertical fracture zones. Yes, we could tell you, okay, just drill down to the 50-meter mark and call it good, establish your well in the aquifer. But as you guys well know, I'm from Central Valley, California. Our aquifer is depleting, so we're on a time crunch to find more water here in the United States, as well as California, Montana, and so on and so on. We try to look beyond the aquifer specifically so we can find water that's producing deeper in the earth. So in this case, we recommended if you want to tap into those vertical fracture networks, that you guys drill down to the 150 meters for 150 meters, 175 meter range for your targets A1 and A2 in this case, getting into these vertical anomalies. As you can see, it's a little faint, but there's these shading, these kind of yellow shadings as you go through that are indicating these vertical networks. There's other, not just the color maps and the heat ratios. Obviously, there's a lot of data that we weed through and a lot of internal processing and keys and tricks and everything that we pull in to choose our targets. And I'm kind of bypassing a lot of that because it gets a little bit more technical. But that's kind of the gist of what you're seeing visually for your targets when we tell you to drill in these locations. I know it's a big ask, and that's why we try to do what we do technologically to help you guys locate the best drilling locations possible. One thing I wanted to bring up before questions moving into it. I had said we'd get into this little zone here. This is that marshland that we said. As you can see, it is massively different for your second property comparatively to the first. You have extreme high resonance because this is visually we saw the water there. This is actually a marsh and pondage area through this large dark blue low gamma signal area, and then that correlates to a massive resonance intensity, which if you intuitively go back when I said microseismic resonance, the resonance intensity correlates to porosity. Well, there is definitely water flowing in this area. You can see how extremely bright that is comparatively, so logically. For you guys, obviously, you're going to have to go through and see, okay, this is a wetland, this is a water runoff. How are you guys going to attack those locations? Out of all the data we saw, and I instructed my geophysicist, hey, don't choose anything directly in this land. Try to choose stuff around the borders. Try to choose locations where it's better for drilling, better for construction, kind of taking the whole scope around that into one and being able to do a buildable area, I should say. So that's why we chose B1 and B2, not only because of the data, but to try to help you guys actually drill the locations and not just be in a wetland marsh. But comparatively, like I said, you can see this massive aquifer zone where there's water entrapment, where there's water flowing constantly, whether it's a spring there or just a natural settlement basin. But intuitively, there is water there. And like I said, this area is a little tough because it is the marsh, but we were able to provide you a B1 and B2 for that. And that is also why it is our secondary locations, or I would say secondary locations. So from beginning to end, your A1 is your target 1, your B1 would be your target 2, and then A2, B2 as you go down the list. Obviously, it's ranked as B1 and B2 because it's the second property, but we always rank the highest ones in chronological order as we go through, showing you that drill map right there. One more thing I wanted to show here, and it's on the other well siting report as I scroll down real quick. As I just explained with our rankings, this is not shown on the condensed report, but these are MSR depth profiles comparatively to that resonance intensity. And when we wrap up all of our data, we average it out. And so when we average it, it's like, what is the nominal or the median noise, I guess you can say, for better or for worse, noise that we get from the entire site. So both sites A and B, and you can see there's that median, that little dash line as you go through. I can zoom in just a tad bit more for you. There's that median dash line as you go through. That's the median of all of the resonance intensity combined. When we look at the targets we gave you, you can see these massive jumps. So there's your B2 is that resonance zone that we're saying, okay, it's near that marshland. We know there's water there. There's definitely a hot spot. It's going to come down to drilling availability and what you guys are able to take further there. I know you guys had mentioned that there was a water tower. I believe that's over in A1. So it sounds like your A sites are better or are conducive to what you guys are looking for. And then here's your B1 is this yellow line. In this case, like I said, B1 is ranked higher than B2 because of the depth. So the resonance intensity, think of when you're running a mile, as long as the further you can last, or like a long distance running, the longer it goes, the better it is. So the depth in meters, you can see how much more elongated over time or over depth it is. It means there's more porosity as depth. There's more venting, or there's more pressure pushing through these resonance zones or these porosity zones. That's why the B2 is a little overzealous with the resonance intensity when we go here, but it still has that push as you go deeper in zones. And then we go back to A1 and A2. You can see when I was showing you those resonance blimps down at the 100 meter mark and the 150 meter mark. This is why A1 and A2 is ranked the highest, because you can see a little bit in the top for that aquifer zone, kind of like you see with B1 and B2, but you see the resonance intensity hold up above that median way deeper than B1 and B2 goes down through this nominal lower zone down towards that 100 and 150 meters. So I know that's a lot to take in. That's why we gave you guys the reduced version. I'll open it up for questions. Hopefully that wasn't too much information. But that's kind of wraps in the totality. I'll let you guys go with questions, because I know you guys are gonna have questions before I move forward. Questions.
So thank you very much. And yeah, I think I missed that class on all the stuff you were explaining. So it should help. It should help a little bit. But my biggest worry is with our well 3 that we have right now. It's a Goody well that ground influence water. And when you see the water around all these sites, that's one thing I do worry about. And it sounds like you're looking at that when you did the B1, B2. That's one of the things you're staying away from in those sites. But with the A1, A2, do we have anything to worry about there with ground influence water? Or
I would say no, because and that's what you intuitively said. B1, B2 of that influence. A1 and A2 looks like it's very localized to that area. It doesn't look, other than in the aquifer. Obviously, the aquifer is connected, but when in that zone that we recommended to drill to here, I'll go back up to it. If you do want to drill, which we recommend to drill down to these zones, if you can drill into these porous anomalies or these resonance intensity anomalies down here, you will not only get better production than just drilling into the aquifer. You should get cleaner water, because you're getting out of that nominal surface. Not collusion, but everything that's at the surface. I know in Ontario and around that entire region, there's all the mining, all the runoff, and everything like that. So if you can get beyond the aquifer, in our opinion, the cleaner the water.
Thank you.
Obviously, that doesn't always happen, but intuitively.
All right, thank you. Deputy Mayor Webb, you had a question?
Yeah, through you, Mayor. Just in terms of, I guess we're dealing with the A1 and A2 sites. In terms of the information we're given here, is there any extrapolation in terms of a flow rate? Or are we gonna have to go and have that tested? I know last time you came, I thought you quoted some flow rates. So was there previous testing done in this area, or?
I think the speaker's gone. Sorry,
Okay.
if you can hear me.
Yeah.
So, we'd have to get a 72-hour pump test just to see if the water. We would do some drill targets. So the idea of Willow Stick and Canadian or Minerals Canada's report is to give us some direct locations to try and do some test wells. With that, you have to do a 72-hour pump test to see if we can get the quantity. while they do the 72-hour pump test, there's a hydro-G study, which a hydrogeological study that will be completed. And they would do all the sampling to see if it's got any issues, if it's high in like high in minerals or sodium. Like I know we have all those issues, but that would tell us at the end of the day of the drill targets, which one is the best, most quantity and less issues when it comes to sampling. But we don't have that information yet. I have high level estimates. The drilling typically costs between 15 and 20,000 per well. And a hydrogeological study is around 30 to 40,000 with 4 days planned on site. But those are high level estimates I've bumped up from 2024.
So moving ahead and taking this report, I take it the suggestion is to move ahead with A1 and A2.
I would.
Is that what I'm hearing from this?
Yeah, from what I understand, and sorry, through you, Mr. Mayor, from what I understand, the report when it was ranked is that B1 and B2 were also ranked to be one of the best areas.
Correct.
I guess
They're in, I believe they're in a conservation area, so that's, I think, kind of off limits for us.
Okay, I didn't realize that, yeah, so.
Yeah.
If we're only left with A1 and A2, then yes, I guess that's pretty good.
Pretty sure it's in the conservation area.
Okay.
And then secondly, it is a wetland, so I would be very wary about taking water out of an aquifer under a wetland in terms of the future.
Yeah, through Mr. Mayor,
What's gonna happen to that
I
wetland? So,
I didn't know that, so when we had originally targeted them, what I was planning on doing was, if you'll recall, a couple of council meetings back, which probably could have been a year ago because things are flying for me, but KBM had suggested that there was an esker. That was up in the northwest corner, so I was trying to hit in that area, so.
thank you.
Any other questions?
Not to interrupt, but one thing we can do, we're always trying to adhere towards our clients and trying to give you guys the best results. Amber, if you would like to give us an outline of where that wetland is actually ranked or mapped, or give us the boundaries, we could go through and reevaluate the data and give you 2 new targets in that where it's drillable, and then we can write a small paragraph telling you the rankings and how it holds up to the rest. Now, when we do that, we do try to tell the clients that the risk involved in drilling. Obviously, you can't drill in the wetland, but when you go from a T1 to a T2, a T3, T4, you go down in ranking, the risk goes up. So I just wanted to make sure that's known. It still will be the best target that you can drill in that location, the best nominal area for you to get a good producing well in our minds. If you cannot drill, obviously your targets 1 and 2 within that wetland. But if you want to give me an outline or a boundary or a buffer, we can definitely go in and give you 2 new targets that are drillable, just as a courtesy, since that was not known going into it on our end.
Yeah, no, and that's fine. As you said, you weren't made aware of that, but I'm pretty sure everything east of 46 is going to be conservation, right? We have a little bit of land there, Bob, but I'm just saying, pretty much runs there. So anything we look at, I think, would have to be on the west side of 46, like the water tower side of 46.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, just a question. What about the new driveway that Hydro had put in? That's still all on the Conservation Authority? And so I was just thinking that that's a nice new driveway for a brand new water plant. So maybe I was wondering if that was possible, but yeah. Okay. I'll take it back, Tristan, and maybe if we do see something, I will reach back out to you. But right now it sounds like that area is off limits.
Gotcha.
And sorry, just that, I think council was looking at kind of the area you've identified.
Yeah.
Because we own the land up there, the water tower's there. It seems like a good synergy in terms of everything.
Sure.
Can be easily hooked up and connected at low cost, right? So if we could focus on that area, I think.
Sure.
Councillor Clement?
So through you, Mayor Martin, so no matter what, we've got to go down about 175 meters, 500 feet. Like no matter where we are in A1 or A2, you have to go that low. You have to go that deep.
We would recommend to get into those vertical fractured networks, but it's not necessarily that you will have to go down that deep. If you're going through, you're going to get into your aquifer zone, maybe that's 5, 10, 15 gallons per minute, whatever the average. I don't have the average off the top of my head. I apologize for that. But if you're going down and you get to 80 meters, not even down to 100, and you get of 100 gallons per minute, 200 gallons per minute, if you get that production that you're looking for and it's testing out correctly, then you do not have to drill all the way down to the 150. The ranges we give you, the recommended depths, are for the maximized production, I guess, the maximized recommended production of, hey, if you're going to drill in this location, we recommend at least drilling down to those areas to get into these anomalies. So say you get down to the 175 and you have that 100 gallons per minute. Do we recommend drilling that you're going to get anything more than that if you keep drilling? No. If you're at 5 gallons a minute or 10 gallons a minute and you're at 80 meters, we 100% recommend, okay, you guys need to keep drilling down to that 100 meter mark, 120 meter mark to get into these vertical anomalies. And what we've seen, especially even though you have these white zones in here that are less porous, when you a lot of what we have seen with these vertical networks is they are producing their own water. It might not be artesian or might not be a spring, but there is water that's being produced from the earth from very far down. I know if there's any hydrologists in the room, they might be yelling at me right now, but that's one of our theories or one of our standpoints that we contest with the nominal hydrology knowledge that's out there. And so you could be 10 meters, 5 meters away from just boosting your production from that 5 gallons, 10 gallons, 20 gallons a minute to that 200 or even up in the thousands. I know the last well we just drilled was just completed down in Mexico City. And I believe they went from an average area of 5 gallons per minute to, I think their original test was 280 gallons per minute, and that's as much as they could test because they had too small of pipe. So they're going to re-drill with larger pipe and then do a secondary test, and they're estimating it's probably in the thousands of gallons per minute. And that was I think 9 days ago that we just did. So it's all gonna depend a lot on geology, but one of the good things in your guys' area is it looks like it's compact geology with I believe there's a section up here. I'm not the geologist, I'm the engineer, so don't take my word for it. But a lot of gravels, fine gravels, and thick compactments. So clay, silt, sands, gravels. Yep. So all unconsolidated zones. So it looks very good for the nature of our projects where these drill targets look very good to us.
Okay, thank you. So is there any other-
One thing if I could add, so we did survey over one well that was in town. So this is our line 29. We actually had a 29th line. I'll show this real quick. This is actually our map. Let me turn on a few things. See, there's our well 29 next to the baseball field. So we did survey over top of your guys' current well. That was the only one that we were given for Havelock. But as you can see, that's our path that we traced out. Kind of crazy, but we did a full grid, and we actually provided you with a profile. So obviously, you're looking at this like, what does this mean? What am I showing you? Your well in Havelock actually sits between line 12 and line 18. And as you can see, between line 12 and line 18, that is one big white zone. Now, I think it is producing because you have this anomaly here to the left that's furthering, probably migrating off to the right or wherever the actual standpoint of that well is. I don't know if this is left to right, right to left, because obviously it's a grid. But between lines 12 or stations 12 and stations 18, that's where your current well exists. So you can cognitively look at this and say, okay, if my well is currently producing at X, and we're saying it's in this white zone, in this less porous zone, if you're able to drill A1 and A2, which I'll go back to it, if you're able to drill A1 and A2, then you can see we're getting you into these porous zones. So your production should be of times better or a magnitude better than that current well that we surveyed over top of. And we're confident in that.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Jared?
Through you, Mayor. It mentions several times in the report to check with local drillers. What exactly are they hoping to get, or what do they want to bring back to the table that isn't in this report?
By that recommendation, number one is air rotary. Obviously, if you get sandy, silty areas, air rotary drilling is not conducive. But I believe your guys' geology is conducive to air rotary. The reason why is air rotary can do pump test live, so they can stop drilling and do a live pump test right then. When you do mud rotary, you can't. You have to establish the walls. You have to flush the hole, get the pores flowing again. And so what we run into a lot, especially in arid regions down in Arizona, Texas, Mexico, Brazil, a lot of places down in those and areas where you think there'd be water is actually very arid. They'll do mud rotary, and when you're looking on trying to get at maximum 5 gallons per minute in these areas, and you clog those pores, you clog that porosity with that it's not grout, but basically you're grouting the holes. You're putting that mud compound to stabilize the bore. It plugs those holes. So then you have to wait extensive amount of time for those to flush out again and those to get the production. So we always recommend air rotary. Obviously, it's not always available or conducive towards the geology. But air rotary is the best of what we saw. All our well drillers in the United States, all our affiliates, they do air rotary drilling. And then the secondary portion to that is while they're drilling, they're going to be able to give you the live core samples. They're going to be able to tell you what the geology is. And if you guys want us to be a part of the drilling, which we're always just a phone call away, and we're not going to charge you. We're not a consulting company where we charge you $200 for an hour. We're always, throughout the rest of this process till the well is completed, we'll be available for a phone call for recommendations or just to take a look at what's going on. But if they're going through and they go from a good example is dark clay, like thick red clay, dark clay, brackish clay. Clay is kind of the worst enemy of any well driller and any geophysicist because there's no flow of water. So if drillers drilling down, you get to 50, 75 meters, and it's like, hey, I'm just in this clay. We're not getting any water. We're not having any problems. And our recommendation is you're going to have to keep drilling to get out of that clay. You're going to have to get into your gravels, your limestones, your fractured stone, because obviously clay is porous, but it's not a fractured stone. It heals itself. It keeps the flow of water at a minimum. And so when we say those recommendations, it's a lot of taking a look at that live data at that time. And that's why we say air rotary drilling is the best as well. Did that answer your question?
Air rotary drilling is boreholing, so they can actually see and stop and test. So their study is based on gamma radio, but this is actually physical drilling. So that's why they suggest that they have a location, but they suggest that you actually physically do a drill test to see if you're going to get any.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? All right then, so we'll carry on.
Thank you. So I just wanted to thank Tristan and Bradley for attending today. They've been great to work with. This has been a process with Aqua and Willowstick and Minerals Canada for the last couple of months. So it's nice to have some good news to share to the township, and I appreciate you both taking part in this with us.
Thank you.
Okay, so Amy, you have any?
Yep. So I have, moving on from the drilling, all of this, right? So
Yeah.
I was asked by council to look at what the cost of well 1 and 4 were versus well 3. So we did a little bit of an analysis using our Maximo CMS system in terms of how many hours are spent at each well and what the costs were. So 2025, as we talked about a lot, was an anomaly year. We had to run well 3 a lot because of the drought. So for 2025, well number 3 was run or took up 63% of the time and 63% of the cost versus well 1 and 4, which was 37%. In a normal operations year where we're not running well 3 kind of primarily, it would be more 25% on well number 3 and 75% on well numbers 1 and 4. So hours do flex year over year. It depends on the raw water quality. So you just have to keep that in mind, and that's affected by environmental conditions, and also some of the maintenance requirements also affect how much time we're spending on each well. We also wanted to note that in 2025, we did spend $15,000 more in chemicals at well number 3 than we would in a normal year. So that's the analysis. Any questions?
Yeah, just a question in terms of how I'm gonna break this down. So 63 to 37 in terms of cost for 2025. What's the output in terms of like what wells 1 and 4, how much water are they putting out in terms of how much water is well 3 putting out? I'm taking it 1 and 4 put out a lot more than well 3. I'm just trying to get it in terms of, you know, what it costs.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, so well 1 and 4, so right now we have it depends on leaks throughout the year. Like right now, 1 and 4 is running about 450 liters per day, or sorry, 450 cubic meters per day.
Okay, yeah,
And that supplies the town for a full day.
okay,
So well 3 was running when we had it in operation about 300 cubes a day. And that was when it was in full operation due to the drought.
so it's about,
And we had 1 and 4 just helping. We tried to split it up. It varied just depending on the town's needs throughout the summer. But we tried to do 50-50. So I would try to get it, so on average, in total, we needed about between 400 to 500 cubes.
Yep.
For the whole town. So we would split it 250 for well 1 and 4 and 250 cubes for.
but in terms of, so production, this is, or well 3 would be 33% less productive than this in terms of what we're getting out of it. But in terms of the cost for 2025, it's double.
Yes. Just due to the manual maintenance of well 3, it's a lot more.
And a lot of that, Amy, in terms of like the ozone and the other things kind of we've done over there to try and keep it up to.
It had a lot to do with the raw water quality.
Well, obviously that, but I mean, there's a lot of things, like I said, ozone, and I know we were into the UV filters a few years ago, right? In terms of the added cost and what's driving up the cost at that well, and as opposed to this well, which is pumping out a lot more water than that well, right? Okay, thank you. I think we've identified the problem. Thank you.
Okay, all right, well, thank you. So for today, you know, to keep this moving, I'm not sure, we just gonna receive it for today, Bob, or?
Well, Amber, what action item do you require from council today?
I think through you, Mr. Mayor, I think Aqua and Willow Stick and Canadian Minerals are asking is that you just accept the report. What Aqua and municipal staff could do is start looking into actual quotes for drilling and provide a estimate to you then, and then we can maybe get started on replacing well 3.
So, yeah, so
Yeah, I'll make that motion just to
keep it going.
yeah, let's just keep it moving, because I think looking at these costs and whatnot, this is something we're gonna have to address moving forward. So it's just.
And that would focus on A1 and 2, is that?
That's correct. Yeah, I can do that for sure.
Okay, so moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councilor Doherty. All in favor of the motion? And that's carried.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. All right. Next on the agenda is Joseph Doucette, regards to Devil's 4 Mile off land. Welcome. I don't think the mic's working as a battery. We can have
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're here today to discuss with the council about some issues that we're having on the property at Devil's 4 Mile. When we bought the property, the lawyer advised us that that the road has never been severed off, so that we own the road. And the issue that we're having is many people have been parking on the road and blocking us in from getting into our own driveway, as well as people have been dumping garbage, as well as defecating on the property. We have also had to, over the years, had many hunters going through the property, and we've had to physically remove them ourselves. And we have small children that come to our property in the family, and we have to worry, especially in the wintertime when the snowmobiles come by, that they zoom around the turns very fast and have almost hit the children on multiple occasions. So we have a proposal today that we wanted to discuss with you guys about. We were willing to if we're able to, would like to, if I could pass this around for you guys to look at, but this is an aerial view of our property. And we've sectioned off an area that we would like to give to the township free of charge. But we would like that the road be our private road, where that we could block it off and have a new entrance for Devil's 4 Mile, where that you guys would have full control over and be able to put whatever you would like, parking as for the snowmobile club, or whatever you would prefer to do there. And this way it would avoid us having to have all these issues of people coming and parking there for days on end, or people speeding by there. And so if I could pass this around to you, I sectioned off where I would like to.
Yeah, we want to offer you guys exactly like an acre, so 200 feet wide and 220 feet long. And that'll be the designated new area for the new entrance and exit for Devil's 4 Mile. Because right now there's no rules and regulations up there. It's very secluded. So I know I couldn't defecate on your lawn, but every few days someone comes, pulls off the highway, defecates on my lawn. And I had an expert look at it. It was a friend of mine. His name's Steve Martin. I'm sure you guys know him. He's been around here. He passed away about a year and a half ago. Friend of mine. And he looked at it. He said that that proposal for the new entrance and exit. He looked at it. He said it'd be great. It's a much better location than it is now, because right now you're coming down a big hill, and there's already been 2 accidents there in the last 4 years that we had the property, because the big trucks come, they don't stop. And there's been 2 accidents there. And for this new entrance and this new proposal for the new area, it's an open area, so you can see clear north and you can see clear south, so you can see lots for any traffic coming. The traffic would see you if you're making a turn into the new entrance and exit for Devil's 4 Mile. So we appreciate it. We just want to keep it short and sweet, because we know the council's busy. So we want to do that, because if not, we're gonna have to take it to the next level. Because we know the bylaw 2024-033 for the traffic code. There's no parking on Devil's 4 Mile. There's no parking from November the 1st to April the 15th. There's no parking, especially there's no overnight parking. We got guys parking there all winter long. And we have no respect on our own property. We're getting bullied around. It's not right. And we're gonna give you guys we're gonna give you guys an acre of land for free. All you guys gotta do is develop it. And we're not saying that you guys gotta do it immediately. As long as we get the approval, it could take 5 years from now. As long as it's in writing that it's gonna be developed, we could even help you. We'll even cut the wood. We'll even bring in loads of gravel. We'll even do physical labor we have to do. Because right now it's unacceptable the way we're getting treated on our property. A lot of these guys grew up in the town, and we're new from Toronto, and we get bullied around. And we're trying to be peaceful. We're just trying to say, hey man, you can't park here for 3 weeks at a time. Come on. At least if you ask us, we're okay with it. But you get these guys that are just attitude. Oh, I've been here all my life. I can hunt on your property anytime I want. And that's how the way they are. And it's disgusting.
Right. And I would like to add, as well as a lot of people, as they're driving by, if they see a grouse or anything running by on the road, they'll shoot towards the cabin. And then, it's dangerous,
It's dangerous.
If we're in the woods or anything like that, we don't want people coming by there. A lot of people don't respect the law, and they'll see a grouse running by, and they'll just shoot it right from their car and get out, pick it up. And it's worrisome for us, hearing gunshots go off and worried that kids are playing in the woods and, might get a stray bullet hit them or something. So this is the proposal that we came up with, and we think it's a good idea. If you guys would look at it and consider it, it would be much appreciated. And we hope that we can get something going moving forward.
Yeah, we already heard like 30 years ago, there was a death on the shooting accident and hunting accident on Devil's 4 Mile. You guys can look into it. Where a guy was walking in the woods with his 2 kids, And there was a hunter in a blind and he didn't even see the animal, he just heard it, it was a sound hunter. And he shot towards the sound, and he shot the guy in the leg with 30-06. And they told the kids to go get help, and the guy died out within 30 seconds. And we don't want another incident like that, we want some rules and regulations. So we're offering you guys this piece of property for free, and hopefully it works out.
Okay. Okay, Deb and Kathy.
Hi, I'm familiar with Devil's 4 Mile. I'm just trying to picture where your house is on this and where it comes up to Devil's 4 Mile.
If I come in. So. Right now, we have a cabin right here, small cabin. And this would be the RV that we have. And then this is the current entrance right now to Devil's 4 Mile.
Yeah.
So people come by here and they park on this road all the time and they whiz around the corners. And this is the section that we were proposing to give you guys here. And then you can make the new road coming in from here to here. So right now.
Oh, I see. Do you
Yeah.
want, okay, now.
Yeah.
Now I understand.
the other.
Can you point to
Yeah.
So now this is
So this is your whole property.
so this here within the
50
blue,
acres.
within the blue here is the aerial view of our property, yes.
Right.
So this is currently right now the entrance to Devil's 4 Mile here. And this is coming off of a turn. If you go down here, there'd be a turn. It's very hard to see in here. So when you come in off here, our cabin would be right here.
Yeah.
And yeah, this people park all here, and there's a spot here where everybody parks, and there'll be like 5 or 6 cars there parking, and they park overnight all the time. And a lot of times we have trouble getting into our own property here. And so what we're proposing is we wanted to give you this section here of the property here, so that you could make a new road coming in here. And this is a big straightaway from all the way up here to all the way here, so you could have a clear view of the road, and it'd be a lot safer for people to turn in, as well as we wouldn't no longer have to have people whizzing by here on the road and people come here and dump garbage, as well as, get off the and use the washroom and stuff like that. And then we're stuck cleaning it up, right? Like we go there and we find washing machines and fridges and tires and everything's thrown there, and like at our own cost and our own time, we have to go there and take all that stuff away,
Okay. And
It's a gathering area there. It's like everybody sits there,
yeah, I understand that.
rednecks, and they just drink and they just get violent. We're trying to do everything right. We're very reasonable people.
Understand why I always thought that the Devil's 4 Mile was owned by the township. So how is that possible when it's somebody else's property here?
Well, 'cause it's never been severed off. When we bought the property, the lawyer said, "Oh, that's interesting." And I said, "Why?" She goes, the lawyer said, "Well, you own that piece of the road. You own the first 1,000 feet of Devil's 4 Mile." Because if I could show you on the map, like right here, you can see how this has been severed off. See how there's no lines here? See the lines up here? This is owned by the township. See, it's already been severed off. So this guy must have sold his road rights a long time ago. But this is an old property. So
Well,
it's never been severed off.
it's never a road to begin with.
Never a road to begin with.
Pillars and stuff, but again.
So apparently I was,
been
yeah,
turned
apparently I was told this part here was a part of our property years ago. And then that since they built this road here, we lost this and they gave us this. Apparently that's the rumors. I don't know.
Okay.
That's what I heard, but we want to
feel like we have some authority.
We want to have some authority over a property. I know I can't defecate on your lawn. I know that I'd be charged, but people can defecate on my lawn because
Yeah,
rules are different up there because it's secluded. Because everyone thinks it's secluded. They can do whatever they want. You know what I mean?
It's just that they have no respect.
They have no respect for us. And we try to, there's just, like I'm saying, it's not everybody. 90% of the people are good. It's just a few bad apples.
Yeah.
But they always want to get violent with us, right? We're not violent people. We just say, hey, man, you mind, if you park there, do you mind asking us? Or can you move over a little bit so we can get it? And it's just a couple beers in his hand. And it's like, oh my God.
Well,
So now we decided we.
All right, so we'll just,
I'm sorry, I'm
okay,
excited.
yeah,
Bev,
I totally get where you're coming from.
yeah, Kathy had a question and
So,
then her.
so this is a seasonal residence, like hunting camp or cabin.
No, we're gonna build a home there eventually.
We would like to build a home there eventually, yes.
So north of there, where our road goes up outside of your property, is that M&R property?
No,
No?
I think this, what do you mean? About here, up?
Yeah.
This is, I think, another private landowner that owns.
yeah, it's another private landowner. Some ground. That's,
Do we pave that? Do we snowplow that?
no, it's unmaintained.
It's on.
It's an unassumed road, enter at your own risk.
But the groomer does come in,
Summertime.
the groomer does come in for the snowmobile club.
The groomer comes in,
Yeah.
but no township staff goes back there.
No.
Summer.
And it wasn't township staff that upgraded that. Well, I guess you wouldn't
But
know.
they do the odd little bit of maintenance here and there because the cops were complaining, because the OPP was chasing people. Couldn't get through, tore out the bottom of their car. So they told the township to come in and do a little bit of maintenance here and there, but there's no regular maintenance on the road. There's definitely no winter maintenance.
Okay.
Okay,
So Peter,
Yeah, through you, Mayor Martin, yeah, it does fall into our limited maintenance section of our roads, but it does not receive any winter maintenance. It's the snowmobile trail.
Oh, I know, yeah.
So, but yeah, we do maintain it a couple times a year. It gets graded, culverts, the odd ditching if we have any issues, but it's a very limited maintenance road.
they are.
Yeah, through you, Mayor, just in the interest of moving things along, I was gonna make a motion that we refer this to our building staff, have a look at. There's a number of issues here that are gonna come up. The road you're going in off of is 46, so it's a county road, so I'm sure the county's gonna have to have a look at this in terms of
Entrance.
yeah, entrance permits and whatnot, if that entrance is moved. So there's a lot of moving parts. Just actually maybe exercise a bit more patience, but give our staff a chance to go out and look at it and see if there is another available way we can get an entrance off 46 and connect that road, right? I know the topography out there is quite challenging in some areas. So that could be part of it, right? But I mean, we have a very good staff here that's, done issues like this before. So I mean, if we can just give them a little bit of time, I imagine between them and the county, they could go out and at least come back to us with, yes, there's a possibility here and here's your options, right? Or no, this can't be done. And then we can kind of go from there. How does that?
Say that the piece of property that we've offered you guys, we went and we walked that property extensively and it looks like it's the easiest spot to put a new road there. It's not all rock.
Sometimes that's done, right? In terms of, trying to come to an agreement in some of these things. Sometimes there's other legal issues that we're not aware of or not aware of right now that might arise that makes that impossible, right? Hopefully that's not the case. As I said, in other cases, we've done things like this, but it's all going to depend on, as I said.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of
what entails fixing that road and getting a new entrance and how grand that whole operation is.
Just forgetting the ball rolling.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, I appreciate you. It's better that, thank you very much for that. It's better that our residents come and do this.
Yeah.
And take matters into their own hands and start blocking off roads and whatnot, right? So thank you very much for the way you dealt with this.
I appreciate it, guys.
So the motion by the deputy mayor is that we pass it, we receive this and we ask staff to come back with some recommendations or options for this, if there's any. So moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Doherty. All in favor? And that's carried. So yeah, we'll look into it and
Thank you very
for
much.
your.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day.
Thank you. Okay. So we're gonna move into staff reports for information and the first item on here for information is Lionel with regards to the capital project. Second item is Josh with the facility recreation update. Are there any questions on those two items?
We can do.
Okay, so yeah, like I'll move into the staff reports with follow-up action. And I will ask that we had some information given from the. Okay, receive that for information by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councilor Doherty, all in favor, and that's carried. Now we'll move into staff report, follow-up action, and I'm just gonna ask that we move number 4 up ahead of Lionel's, just so we can, there was some information given, added to the to number 4 there that was in the last night. If anybody had a chance to look at it, just give some explanations around that. So this report. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, it's just, there was the chief gave some, he's away today. There was some explanations with regards to. but just so you have it, and then we're gonna go into Lionel's report, but some of these things here.
There's
Yeah.
just a question around, well, not a question, but there's a note on here. So in terms of personnel, Lionel, there's a note on here that says, I did this for Lionel. Sorry to do that to you, but I didn't do it to you. Just with that, does that mean that that number is, there's the ability for that number to change or, okay, and if so. Sorry, go ahead.
Through you, Chair, the projected actual, compared to the 2025 budget will be around $70,000 under budget, for 2025. And that will be after any year-end entries that I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions around that?
Through you, Mayor. So the actual is not the actual then?
Through you, Chair, the actual on this printouts, and I don't know if I have the same one, I think it's similar.
This is the one was handed out last, sorry, the one I'm looking at.
Yeah, that is
Okay,
the
thank
one.
you.
The projected actual there would be about $70,000 less.
Okay. All right, so there is some movement there.
So, great, just for clarification, Lionel, does that include, the new number? 319, does that include, a full-time position for the deputy chief?
Through you, Chair, the 2026 budget includes a partial year for the deputy chief position, not a full year. That was, I believe, decreased at the last budget meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Well, there was some explanations around training and things like that with the new people coming on for extra training. And then the paging was big, so. Councilor Dory?
Through you, Chair, this is not a question, this is just an inquiry, just so everybody understands. Supplies, it says, budget was 18, project that actual is going to be 23, and then it says we're looking at what? I'm not just sure what that means, so what number are we to take, just because we're getting a little closer to budget.
So there was some things when I went in to see him, he was talking about some things were on different GLs and I'm not some stuff was, he was trying to find some receipts that weren't in his thing and he was looking at other GLs for some. I don't know if he talked to you at all, Lionel.
Through you, Chair, no, we haven't had a discussion about that.
Okay. Great. All right. Bev, go ahead.
Yeah, through you, Mayor Martin. I'm not sure, like, I'm confused with this whole report, actually. The skidster, for instance, is the most confusing part. So it's on the budget to buy the skidster, and yet Ray has come back and told us that he paid for the skidster through the fund that he gets at Max Milk, whatever that, the break open tickets. So which is it? Is it purchase, or did we purchase two of them?
Yeah, one's different than the other.
Yeah.
One was for the truck, the one that he had in the budget was for the truck, and the one that he purchased with the Nevada was with the, if anybody went in to see him, they would know. That's how he explained it to me. It's the one that was with the Nevada was for the ATV and it's a different unit altogether.
See, no, I took it as that was all for the ATV at the meeting.
Yeah.
The one in the budget. I took it with the ATV, I'm not sure
Okay.
where that came from.
Yeah, That's what's hard with that here.
Through Chair, I follow up on Bev's point because actually the photographs that came with that particular package indicated it was on the side by side. So I don't know how we would, just an inquiry, not a question, how we would possibly know that it goes on the truck without somebody bringing it forward. Just,
And all I was told, it was the separate, the different one. I think he talked to you too, Bob, did he, or?
My understanding is the same. It's a separate piece of equipment. It's not the same.
Not the same equipment, but I may be explaining it wrong, but one was the one with Nevada. I was told it was different. I don't know. Did you ask him that at all when you were in, or like about those two units? Okay, so we can receive this for today. And move on. There's some explanations that were asked for, but it's still not clear and so. Okay, so. Without him here, it makes it hard, so if I could get a motion that we receive this report. Okay, moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Flagler. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, all right then, Lionel, I'll go back to you here with budget approval.
Through you, Chair, the report in front of you lists all of the changes that have been made with respect to the 2026 capital and operating budgets. So council may or may not have any sort of housekeeping motions, but as the report says, the residential tax rate increase as it stands now is 4.5% increase to the tax rate.
Okay. And that was a good day. We got it down from 10% down to 4.5%. So good job, everyone.
Jerry, question to you, Chair. So is that 4.5 with the 70 off, or does that include the 7 plus?
Oh, through you, Chair. The 70 I was referring to earlier is in the projected actuals. So council could choose to change the 2026 budget for fire, and if they did so, that would of course decrease the residential tax rate from 4.5% increase.
Does that leave us any problem with when the full time comes on, or is there a way of dealing? No.
Through you, Chair. It would all come down to timing. I mean, if it was early in the year, but as it stands right now, there's a couple of different ways that we could deal with that. There could be a decrease in the 2026 expenses, or there could be a draw from the fire reserve to reflect any expenses in the 2026 budget that had been budgeted before. And because they were not spent, they went into the reserve. So there's a couple different ways of doing that to bring down the net tax levy for the fire department.
Through you, Mayor. Yeah, this is one thing I did discuss with the chief. So I discussed it also with line in terms of that. In the advertising communication line, there's budgeted 102,321. Last year was 101,000 budgeted. The actual was only 75. So I'm thinking the discrepancy there, why the actual is lower, is that some of that money was put in for this paging system that was started in 2020. There's a note on the side there, but I'm assuming that this money was budgeted last year. That's why the actual is so much lower. So in speaking with Lyle and speaking with the chief, what we do there is basically, correct me if I'm right, Lionel, but basically move that 102 down to 80. And then we'd have to add an addition from the reserves, right, to offset the whatever 25 or whatever. Maybe you could explain it more clearly.
Through Chair, if we were to recognize that money had been in a prior year's budget, so it would be in the reserve because of surplus. we would just add in revenue of $20,000, say for instance. And then the addition of the revenue would decrease the net tax levy by that same amount. So we wouldn't have to do anything to the 102. It would just be bringing in revenue from the reserve.
And then we budgeted for it last year, right? And that money should be in the reserve, so that's one way we can offset that, or at least bring that number back down. Otherwise, we're gonna be above the 4 or 5, right? I think even with that adjustment line, we're still above the 4 or 5 that we kind of had stopped at the other day. So there's still a little bit of cutting if you want to get back to that 4 or 5 number, right? Or lower. So just to make council.
Through chair, right now, before council would do anything today, we're at a 4.5% tax rate increase.
Even with raised budget the way it is.
With no changes through your chair to the fire budget, other than what was done before in the other budget meetings, it's 4.5%. So all the changes that were made by councillor in that report in the first chart.
So if we did that change, then what would that bring if we just did that little $20,000 change to that with it down?
Dipping across the spreadsheet as we speak. So if we added in 20,000, we'd be at a 4.2% tax rate increase.
That sounds nice.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion that we.
Well, just Carrie's have a question.
Through your chair to maybe the CEO. We keep saying we're going to replace the deputy fire chief full-time. Maybe I missed it, maybe I misunderstood, but I thought when the previous part-time deputy fire chief left, we put a motion that what had to take place in order for this new position to open up. We needed a proposal as to job, or have we just missed that step and gone right straight to the full-time? And if I did, I must have missed it, or am I misunderstanding what was taking place?
No, through you, Mayor Martin, I don't think there's been a misunderstanding. The intention is to have funds available for this position. The intention is to bring a proposal that council will ultimately approve. And then we will proceed with the recruitment of a full-time deputy chief.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'm gonna make a motion to make that adjustment that Lionel had suggested. Yeah.
What's it? That's that 20,000?
Yeah, just the advertising communication.
Yeah.
Because we figured we'd put that money in from last year, so.
Budget for once.
Yeah, so that's moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Doherty. Questions, comments? All right then, all in favor? And that's carried. So.
Now you're 4.2.
Yeah.
You want.
Yeah, so that's an option. It's up to council. We're down to 4.2 here. A lot of projects in there. Is there? We could make them. Could make that today then, Bob, motion that we move the budget as presented.
Yes, we can have council choose. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we doing with the rest of the student chair? What are we doing with the rest of the report? They just going to let it, because there's some things that are still outstanding. I still don't understand about the 70,000. I'm absolutely confused about that. But
yeah,
everybody else seems to get it. Could maybe somebody will take a few minutes to explain it to me. Anyway.
Okay, so there's no motion for us. I'm just saying it can happen. If we want to wait and see what comes back here, we can put it off to another.
Teresa, the only, as I mentioned, or the only issue there is that we would have to very soon draft the newsletter that goes in with the interim bills, which We can't put 2 pages in together. It's a bit difficult to mail. So the one that we'll be putting in the interim billing would be for the budget, all the information. So in addition to the fact that passing the budget will allow different managers to get their capital budgets going, it would also mean that we get that information out to taxpayers in a timely manner about the budget. Yeah, so all around, I think people want to see generally the budget passed at an earlier date. So all other things being equal, it would be great if we could pass it today, but that's certainly not our decision to make. It's certainly
To
council.
pass it for the newsletter, though, nobody's comfortable with it. Yeah, Councilor Clements, go ahead.
So we've gone from 10 down to, we're down now 4.2. If there's changes later on fire budget, that's fine, but at this point, I think 4.2, I mean, if you look around at other communities, 4.2 is pretty good. I'd like to make a motion, we pass it today. We've got to get on with the capital so they can get their what do you call it, for equipment stuff.
So,
I know, I'm just
yeah,
suggesting.
so
I think the issue here is in terms of, to Councilor Doherty's point, we've got a report here with, there's still outstanding questions from some members of council that haven't been answered. And it would ideally, if Ray was here, we could probably have that done, but to go and pass a budget,
Okay.
if some still have questions, I don't think is the right way to go. I agree with you in terms of, in line to Lionel's point, get this done, let's get these off to the managers, and that's why I suggested that maybe if council would like to pass the capital and we can come back and review the operating, because it's pretty much done as well, but given one report, right? So
Sorry, through you, Mayor Martin, just a question for the treasurer. I'm looking at the original report, the budgeted actual personnel was 339. And in the revision that was circulated, it's now 319. Is there another additional savings there that we haven't accounted for in today's discussion?
You chair, the budget for personnel is not 319, 135 for 2026. So the budget as presented in our budget book that everybody went through and we made changes to, the personnel line for 2026 is 304,044. So I guess in other words, the personnel cell in the report from the fire chief is not correct.
So yeah, so the option is that we can look at the capital to get it moving. We haven't done that. I don't remember doing that here, but that is an option to get the roads part of it going. It's up to council, however you want to do it, or we can put it off to another budget meeting.
No, I will amend and say that we pass the capital. The roads have got to get moving. We're always complaining nothing gets done. We've got to get the capital passed. So.
Okay. Is there anybody that wants to second that?
oh, pass the capital right now, just the capital.
Yeah.
Okay, second by Deputy Mayor Webb. Questions?
Clarify through your chair, clarify, there's nothing in this, whatever this is, that will affect capital.
Through you, Chair, to Councilor Doherty, no.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So the motion that we pass the capital and work on the operating side. Moved by Kathy, second by Art. Any other questions? All in favor of the motion? That's carried. So. Okay, so we'll have to schedule a meeting.
Well, because I've picked up in terms of, I think staff really would like to have some of this information go in this newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
What's the absolute, is today the absolute cutoff? I mean, is it tomorrow? in terms of if we could schedule a special meeting, because there's not there's 10 or 15 minutes worth of discussion here left to finish this budget, so it's kind of frustrating that we can't get this done today, but I mean, it is what it is.
But what happens if he's off for a couple of weeks? Well,
Well, he can't do Zoom. I don't, like,
Yeah,
he's not,
he said he would do
that's what I'm
Zoom.
getting at. It's not an
And I
intensive
don't know
care
when
here,
he's
so.
eligible, so we'll have to set up another meeting afterwards, once we find out how he made out today. So we'll set up another meeting and come back to discuss the operating, but right now, is there anything that can go out? We'll see. You can come back and let us know what you need. Like I say, it's no sense rushing it just for a newsletter. It is what it is.
If there's so little information here, we're waiting, like you're saying, the
I know.
decision. I don't want to be comfortable with them going out with the tax rate even at 4.2, because even if it goes up 1 or 2%, it's only gonna vary by 0.1 or 0.2 here. Do you know what I mean? In terms of the decisions we have left to make here in this budget, I'm saying one way or the other, it might go up 0.1%, it might go down 0.1%, or it might stay exactly where it is. But the whole deal is, I think we're just waiting on this because we need the information before we can vote on it.
Yeah.
Future, that sounds great for the tax rank, is there's a lot of really good information that goes out with it now that is like specific numbers. So while it may not change materially, if we made additional changes, the numbers wouldn't be right if we did. So it's kind of hard to do that.
No, understood.
Okay, so we'll have to we'll set up another meeting to be announced and go from there. Yes. Yeah, probably it can be Zoom.
Future. So in the meantime, one way or another, we'll get a newsletter for council to see at the next meeting.
That's good.
It'll just be a matter of at that point what we have to submit to Bob, to the clerk and the deputy clerk for the agenda.
Yeah.
Hopefully we could have that done by the end of this week.
Yeah, like
our end in terms of having this meeting for getting information on.
Yeah, we'll look at
if he's available. I don't
yeah,
know.
that's the thing. So we'll do it ASAP and try and get this done. So
He must have a schedule, he must have replacements, if he's going to be off, who's sitting in for him, what kind of numbers, like. What do we know about who's filling in for him? We must have that information.
for the budget, yeah.
No, this is for his job, he's not there now. Who's filling in for him? So we must have an idea how long he's going to be incapacitated, not being.
He's thinking a couple of days, but he's not a doctor. So he was tentatively looking at Thursday. You know,
Pretty suggested.
so
I would think captain's filling in from work.
oh yeah, that's who filled in his away. So
Well, can the captain not answer the questions?
he wouldn't.
So he doesn't know about any funds, he doesn't know about skidster that he bought, nothing like that?
He's a more for emergency calls.
Not even a fire department. There should be somebody there 24/7 that can answer those questions.
So, okay, so we'll set up a meeting as soon as possible. And we'll move into number 2 here. Housing enabling water system fund there, Lionel.
Through Chair, this is essentially just a requirement of the funding, so we just need a council resolution for us to
on the number 2 on the report.
Transfer payment.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, that's okay. Just a housekeeping item. It's a requirement to receive this funding that there's a council resolution to enter into a agreement with the province.
Yeah, so we have a recommendation before us, moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Clement. Any questions? All in favor? And that's carried. All right, thanks, Lionel. Next, we're moving in to Travis and
Don't like this side.
So, okay, Travis, appointment of animal control officer.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, members of council. It's my pleasure to advise. We went through the process to hire an animal control officer, Kevin Baker. Kevin is also animal control officer with Tweed and Addington Highland. Yeah. Or before council to appoint him as animal control officer, and Kevin's been able to join us today and introductions in the community.
Well, welcome. Sorry for making you sit through this.
Hey,
Sorry, yeah.
it's business. It's gotta be done. It's, I don't even want to be in your chair.
So, no, thank you very much and look forward to working with you.
All right, me too. It's a new world up here. I am north of 7, so it'll kind of help put in the north of 7 part, but yeah, now I'm looking forward to it too. And I'm as basic can be, and if there's a problem, I'd like to be the first to know.
Very good.
On your behalf, my behalf, yeah, I'm thankful for the job.
Filling a huge void, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Travis, and look forward to working with you.
All right, I'd come and shake your hand, but I got a little bit of cold, so the more distance, the better.
Thank you.
Thank you, Travis.
Yeah, Travis.
Right, my phone's on silent, so I'll go sit in the car.
Thank you.
Just have a good day.
Thank you. I'm gonna get a motion that we take a break for a minute.
We got a motion from Councilor Doherty and somebody second that, the appointment?
The appointment.
I don't think anyone did.
Did he? I don't know. We just got that.
We got 2 things in staff report. Want to finish the staff report? Oh, okay, we'll just keep going. You're good with that?
I don't-
Everybody good to keep moving?
Probably not. That's whatever you want.
He's going fast. So motion to take a break for 10 minutes. Moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councilor Flagler. All in favor?
They're ordered. No more batteries.
Yeah. Okay, motion to resume the open meeting. Moved by Councilor Doherty, second by Councilor Flagler. All in favor, and that's carried. So the next item on the.
Excuse me, just
Yeah.
to you, Chair. You made a comment earlier that maybe if we attended the fire hall, we know. I found that
I didn't say it that way.
Well, what did
Some
you say?
attended, some attended.
No, what did you say then?
I'll go back and listen on the
Okay.
recording.
Because just for your edification, I got a call or an email from Mr. Haynes at 9:39 on Wednesday night to come Thursday. Well, unfortunately, by the time I read the memo.
I seen it Thursday.
My time, okay, so I responded to him and saying, I'm sorry, I couldn't make it
Okay.
Thursday, obviously. And said I couldn't make it Friday because I had something on in the morning.
Okay,
Okay, well then don't make that remark that I didn't get there because it
I
wasn't.
didn't say that.
Yeah, well, you listened to it.
I
see
see,
what you
well,
said.
listen to it, because some of us went in and seen Ray and some were unable to. So, it's fine, we can deal with this when he comes back, so. So the next item on.
Sorry, I got an email from the fire chief. It said it's surgery is canceled and moved to tomorrow. So
We'll address that.
no, I'm just wondering if maybe we can get him online today. Okay, sorry.
He's at the hospital.
Sorry.
So, okay, so the next item on here is, community safety and well-being plan. Bob?
Yeah. So through you, Mayor, this report recommends that we join our colleagues in the other townships of Peterborough County, as well as the county itself. Our community safety and well-being plan is mandated to be updated and renewed by the province. So the group has gathered and we're recommending that we join the group to update the plan.
Okay. Do we have a recommendation in there?
Yeah,
I have a question.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay, go ahead, Beth.
Is this the first group or the second group? Because there seems to be 2 groups from what I read.
Through you, Mayor Martin, there was in the original plan 4 years ago, there was a splintering of the group, so you do see attached to your report two different community safety and well-being plans. But now all the groups have come together to work one plan.
Yeah, and further to that, the one change was that I believe with the previous plan, Bob, the city was also affiliated with, so the city of Peterborough had input. They've been since notified, been a diversification between the city and the county. So this is primarily the 8 municipalities of the county, and the city is no longer affiliated with our wellness being plan.
Good, thank, that's nice information to know.
Okay, all right.
Just one question to you, Mayor Martin. So does that mean the county is not part of that?
Yes.
Because you said because we're all in the Peterborough County.
I apologize, Bob, you could explain it better. Sorry.
Through you, Mayor Martin, further to comments from Deputy Mayor Webb. So the city was involved in the first community safety and wellbeing plan that was adopted here by HPM and a few of the other townships. The city will not be involved in this one. However, the county will be, along with the 8 townships.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, so you're gonna move that, moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second Councillor Clement. All in favor, and that's carried. All right, the next item is simply voting system for APM. That time of the term, so there is a recommendation there. Pretty straightforward. Okay, there's the recommendation.
I haven't got to it yet, but sure.
Yeah, so it's moved by Deputy Mayor Webb that we go with the recommendation. Second by Councillor Doherty. Any questions? All in favor? And that's carried. Okay. So moving on, correspondence action items. We had a request here that we get yearly from the Kosh Lake Regatta Association. Motion to approve, moved by Deputy Mayor Webb. That was the story. Okay.
A question, if I may, before. It says that we're going to give vehicle parking on one side of North Shore Road. That's quite a walk for them.
Good catch.
Whatever you like, we can go.
Peninsula, it should be amended to Peninsula.
And that's what we did last year.
Yes. Okay.
I'll
move it with the
the changes.
Yeah. Second.
Second by Councillor Doherty. All in favor? And that's carried. There's no information items within correspondence. So we'll move into committee liaison reports. So there was no county council meeting as per se, but following it, there was a meeting with all the mayors. We met with Emma Harrison to discuss. It was a high level meeting just on, you know, what we're looking for, and pretty well everything in there was around. We're all looking for infrastructure dollars, the high-speed rail, clarification on how that's going to affect our communities. Agriculture is a big thing as far as things that are going on in agriculture, and the airport was another thing. That's a big thing. With the city was there with us, and there was discussion around how to make better use of the airport. So she listened, and following the meeting, we did say that we need to see this happen more often, and she was agreeable to that. So I think in the future, she'll have more of these meetings, and you know.
Peterson. Peterson, it probably will come up in the, I think it's the road needs study.
Okay.
But he agrees it's getting very busy, and especially sometimes with the younger families down there now. And it's 50 on, I call it concession, it's County Road 30, whatever, like. So you come from Campbellford, it's 50 coming into town, but you turn on the Old Norwood Road and it's 60. And they seem to like, they speed along there. So anyways, yes, we do need a 4-way stop. So Peter said he'd look into that, the roads need.
What the roads need study.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we follow, and we have in the past, so that's good. So you did bring it up, and that's good.
Just clarification on the stop sign. So that's going down Mary Street. There's going to be a stop sign on Old Norwood Road.
There is now. It's on Mary Street, they want it 4-way. There's a 2-way now.
Oh, you're gonna, oh, now
Yeah, they want a 4-way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they go straight through to the country and keep on.
rotates.
Yeah, so that'll come up in the study and.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing,
Now,
too,
yeah,
story was, between long-term care and the people on the corner, they've requested that whole road go down with 50 and pizza. That'll probably also happen in the roads need. So it'll be 50 on Concession Street or wherever you call it coming in, plus 50 on Old Norwood Road.
Didn't we pass the budget? Or didn't we pass that motion last week?
That was for Smith's Drive.
Yeah, it was over there. She's over here.
Yeah, I know. Did we not do Old Norwood Road? Was it not part of the original study?
No, that was, remember, I got it mixed up when I.
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah.
I was talking.
I'm still in the mix. Sorry, my apologies.
Sorry, council.
okay. All right, then. All right, then. So that'll be coming forward and receive that,
Yeah.
receive the question in other business, I guess, just receive that. Bob, and pass it on to.
Pass it on to
pass it on
staff.
to staff.
Yep.
So that's moved by Kathy, second by Art, all in favor, and that's carried. All right, we're gonna move into bylaws. And the first bylaw is with regards to the infrastructure for housing enabling. Motion to pass that, moved by Jerry, second by Kathy, all in favor, and that's carried. And the second one is the animal control officer appointment. So moved by Kathy, second by Beth. All in favor, and that's carried. All right, then, we don't have any closed session. So the next one on here is the confirming bylaw for today's meeting. So moved by Kathy, second by Beth, all in favor, and that's carried. And motion to adjourn. Art, there's.